Guys, hey guys, good morning. It's the Crypto Cowboy. We are on the 18th of April here, and Saturday, coming to you with another edition of Bitcoin Technical Update for YouTube. And I'll start by looking at a few longer term counts, and then we'll dive into this red count and just look at what's kind of happening here near term. So on this interpretation, we have a wave one completion followed by a wave two. We've done a third wave and a fourth, and we are embarking in this bullish fifth wave by beginning of wave one up here that finished in June of last year, followed by a pullback in this wave two that finished in March. And we are in the beginning phases of rebuilding a bullish outlook here to going in a wave one, wave two, wave three, four, and five for the wave one of three. And this is kind of going to continue up here towards $100,000, followed by a 4 and a 5. And we got to stay on this interpretation below this 348,000, because otherwise wave 5 will become longer than wave 3, and we would have, an invalid interpretation. But I think, that's the least of our problems for right now. All right. Let's take a look at the yellow count, which is a little bit more conservative. It says that we're still moving up higher in this wave 5 cycle, but the idea here is that we haven't finished fourth wave. So while in the red count wave 4 is considered finished, and this is a 1-2, onto the yellow count wave 4 is in progress, and we're just in a triangle through an A, B, wave C finished. We are doing this wave D, should be in a 3 wave, and then come back in this wave E again with a 3 wave structure. This will call for an end to a wave 4, and then we will break up higher. If Bitcoin breaks below this 3100, this wave count becomes invalid, and then we would have to switch over to a more bearish interpretation, which is our silver count, that says that Bitcoin has reached a wave 1 cycle in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So this wave cycle 1 is done, and we are building the second wave decline. This happens again in 3 waves. This is a complex correction. You have a double zigzag for W, you have an A, B, C, you have a connector wave in X. We've done an A, we've done a B up, and we're in the middle of building the C leg down through a wave 1, sharp drop down. The rise that we're experiencing right now is a second wave. Everybody thinks that Bitcoin is going to break up to new highs. It's only a second wave. We're breaking down in 3, 4, and 5 to complete C. This will bring Bitcoin towards 2000 zone up here, where you could see wave Y and wave W would have equality into their measurement. All right, so if this triangle fails and we're breaking lower, this is my next kind of bearish interpretation. Now, going back to a even more bullish interpretation, I'm going to take you to this black count that says that instead of this being a wave 4, this is a second wave. So this is a wave 1, an extended wave 1 and 1, you have a 2, you have a 1, 2, and then you can see these waves up here have kind of equal lengths. And then following this wave 2, this is another 1, 2, which means that Bitcoin is about to rip higher aggressively here, and this will take us much higher, towards $500,000 into the price of Bitcoin. I know this is extremely bullish count, but it's a valid interpretation that I want to keep an eye on. And depending on the way we're breaking up here, above this 14,000, we'll kind of start to notice and shift to this outlook. Obviously you want to stay more conservative, so we'll take a look at the yellow count as well. We'll take a look at the red count, but like I said, that's the least of our problems, especially if you're a Bitcoin bull. If Bitcoin starts breaking above 10,400 and above 14,000, I think we're moving up into this progression. Now I have an orange count here that also says that's also kind of conservative, but you could look at this as being a 1, 2, 1, 2. We've done a sharp rise in 3. We haven't finished this wave 3 cycle just yet. This is a 4, again, like in the other counts. And then you're going in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish this third wave. Then you pull out in a 4, and then you do a 5. So all of these counts are kind of bullish. Now, the most bearish count that I have, besides this WXY, this white count, which is very ugly, and it says that after a 10-year advance into the price of Bitcoin, a 2-year correction is not enough, and you got to correct even more up here and come up in a WXY XZ, possibly for a second wave. perspective that can take us, let's say towards the end of 2023, 2024. So if you measure that from 2017, 2018, let's call it, that would be about a 6 year, 5 to 6 year correction into the price of Bitcoin compared with the 10-year advance that we've had in here. So, totally possible, but let's take it one thing at a time. Let's not get caught up in forecasting the future about 6 years down the road. So kind of going back, let me take a look at the candles as well before we jump into the smaller time frames, and I want to take a look at the candles here as well. Let me start with the 1 month candle. I've talked about this in my previous videos as well. I've liked the reaction in here, and I've said if we are not getting a continued bearish outlook in here, I want to see the month of April start building a bullish case through this white candle, rising up here, and then maybe going back up here towards 8,500. I would love to see this month kind of close up here towards 9,000, 8,500, and create almost an engulfing of the previous body of the candle from the month of March. This would be an extremely bullish signal for Bitcoin going forward. Anything less than that, it could be problematic, but it's not as bad as if this candle would turn bearish here into the next couple of weeks. So I do want to see the bulls kind of at least maintain this outlook here for the rest of the month. And if I go back to a kind of a 4-day chart, you could see that we've tried to fail down here, and I mean to turn bearish, and we failed, and the bulls have kind of taken charge. We have broken above the body of the previous candles here from April 3rd and from April 7th on here, and we're trying to take the high. So going back to a 1-day chart, you could see how we're basically engulfing the body of the previous candle here, and we're trying to break up higher. So a more bullish outlook will happen after we break the 7,400. We're going to embark here, I think even higher on there. So let me take you also to the moving averages on here. You could see how we have broken above the 55. Now the 55 still points a little bit lower. We have this 200-day moving average just above it, above 8,000. Anytime you are below this 200, you don't want to get overly bullish just yet. So near term, the market could target these levels on here. I'm expecting this to offer resistance. So while the move up here this morning, it's a little bit exciting, I don't want it to get super aggressive to the top side just yet. I think there's still a lot of wood to chop in here for Bitcoin to get bullish. So I want to give it a chance to develop and try to possibly buy bullbacks after we break this 200. Now into our room, we are taking advantage of smaller time frames as well, so we could get bullish in here, but I'm still waiting for some more moves here to be developed. So with that, I will take you out to our red count, and I'm going to go down to a 1-day chart. We were looking at this pullback to continue up here as a part of a wave 2, and it looks like it's not happening, which is a bullish sign. But the idea here was that following this wave 2 completion, we've done a leading diagonal in a wave 1, and I was looking for a deeper pullback as this part of a wave 2. Now this wave 2 only pulled back into the 23% through a WXY, and now we're building the case to the upside. As you can see, we have broken above this wave X high, which I consider a key level at about 7,200, and I think this is a pretty bullish breakout here. So we are breaking the trend through the downside. We've broken the trend lines, we've broken a key level, and I think the market is basically telling us, start looking up, because everything kind of to the downside here failed and finished, and you need to be looking higher. All right, let's go down to about a 1-hour chart here. You can see the development, right? Wave 1 up, you have a W in an ABC, a connector X in 3 waves. You have a sharp drop down in A, followed by a pullback here into the 618 into a B wave. Clear 5-way move down in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a C, 100% equality of Y versus W, and now we've done a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very short pullback. I was talking to the members into the room over a couple of days ago. We were looking at this move to extend lower. This would be just an initial decline in a W, possibly an X and another ABC to start to embark embark into some longs here. I think if I go to my primary, I have this setup in here. So we were waiting for the price to drop down here into the 50%, 618, to try to get bullish in a second wave. The market broke up higher. So now I got to read this price action and say, okay, what is this? Is this all I'm getting in a wave 2? And I got to move this wave 2 back on here, possibly. And then, the advance here, it's a 1, maybe a leading in 1, or just, it's hard to read the rise up here impulsively just in a first leg. But the break up here, it's pretty sharp. So I don't know, maybe it's just a failure and we could be doing a flat 3 waves down in A, B, C, for B. So this would be the B rise in a flat, and then we're pulling back sharply as part of a C wave. So let me show you how that would look. Let me just decompose it as a correction. So this is a wave A, 3 waves. B up here, right? You have an A, B, or an A, B, and C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe another move up higher here. Let me see where this wave B goes. So it can go pretty much as high as about 7,300 before it needs to start failing. So that would be kind of the highs I would look for, 73.34 as part of a wave B, and then we would need to drop sharp down in a wave C, where the way the flats are working, and we don't have to drop as deep as this, because this flat could turn basically into a running flat as well, so we could come even a little bit higher. But if it wants to be an expanded flat and really make a fool out of everybody, then we would sharply drop lower here. And the idea of a flat is that it makes you think that it's breaking up higher. It doesn't. It actually makes you think it's going to break lower. It doesn't. So it does this fake outs up and down, and then we actually embark up higher. But under this interpretation, we have to be bullish because we have broken above this wave X highs, and we have broken above this channel corrective pattern. So I'm kind of switching my interpretations here, towards a more bullish outlook here, at least into the next week, following a possible pullback up here for a second wave. So I don't want to buy the market just yet. If the market continues to go aggressively higher, so be it. I'm not going to be involved. I'd like to buy pullbacks, and these breakouts, I'm kind of cautious about it. Remember, we are coming into a pretty strong zone of resistance up here in about 7,400. So I want the market to see. I want to see how the market reacts into these levels before embarking into a more bullish trade on here. So I'm still being cautious. I'm watching this rise into this B wave. We are on the weekend, so we have to see how the futures are opening tomorrow. I'm going to monitor this until tomorrow, and then see. We'll make a decision for our members. But if you guys want to see how we trade, we do trade live trades into our room, and you can be part of my regular daily videos and analysis, and I'm running you exactly like I'm doing here every single day to our outlooks and interpretations, and we take setups based on Elliott wave structures, and we trade internal legs of the move. So for example, here the idea here is that if we're coming back in a wave 2, I'm going to try to build a position with confirmation, try to take advantage of a wave 3rd. You might ask yourself, well, why don't you take advantage of this wave C? It's because the market is already breaking up higher, and I don't want to sell that. I just want to buy it from now on. So for me, kind of the bearish outlook, it's kind of pushed off to the side. I would need Bitcoin to start breaking below the 6,500 levels for me to turn back towards a bullish a bearish interpretation. Anyway, onto the silver count, I wouldn't even attempt to move anything higher than this $8,500 level, because if this is still a wave 2, then the next move lower would be as part of a larger 3rd wave. So either way, even on a bullish outlook, I'm not going to look any farther than this 8,200, 8,500, maybe 9,000, but nothing further than that for this potential trade, because then I would have to watch the market and see what happens into these levels. And if we're getting a bearish rejection, then we're probably going to start moving aggressively lower in Bitcoin. So for me, that's what I'm saying. As interesting as this looks, remember, we're still kind of down into this move, and I'm going to draw it up here, right? We're still kind of in this move from here to here, right? So I need to see a break above here before saying, hey, bullish. Bitcoin is starting to move towards 20,000, 40,000, 50,000, whatever that's going to be. All right, so I hope this helps, and if you guys have any questions and comments, leave them below. Subscribe to the channel, come and visit us into the pro room. We have a trial available as well, and come trade with us. And if you have any suggestions, leave them below. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you like the content, and I'll see you guys all next week. Have a great trading week ahead. Thank you. Bye bye.